you so, so much for being here. We are back with YourTown TV and the Arts of the Answer episode. And what we are focusing on today is firsts of everything. Fresh start, new beginnings, all these different kinds of ideas about the arts of the answer for starting again or starting anew. And First Night is our next guest. Ellen Martin is the executive director. First Night Monterey is such a wonderful celebration of the arts, and there's so many aspects to it that we'll explore in just the next few minutes. But one of the best things about it is that it's a way to really start the next year. That's why it's First Night. On New Year's Eve, it's start the next year with a great positive feeling and great camaraderie and so much more. So Ellen, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, Paulette. It's great joy to be here.
So Ellen, tell us about this next First Night. What do you have in store?
Well, we're excited. It's going to be our 26th community celebration of the arts. And as usual, we have new acts, perennial favorites, and surprises up our sleeves. But we have something for everyone, and I think that's what I think people need to know is that, you know, we have under contract 30 different groups to perform.
That's
so
amazing.
There's a lot going on, and I just have to say how excited we are to be back at the Monterey Conference Center.
And that's amazing. After 2 years of no conference center, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and so we're going to fill that space with art, community, new beginnings, and great different activities and performances, and with a finale to the new year.
So what will you do with the finale this year?
So we have two finales, and because we're back at the conference center, we won't have one outdoors. So last 2 years we had Samba Legal outdoors in front of Wells Fargo. But so the Sarah Ballroom, the California Cowboys, they are a great group that are a rock, new country sound, but then they also play some oldies and favorites. But they'll be playing us into the new year, and we have a country dance instructor. So that's going to be fun during the night.
Yeah.
And then over at the Golden State Theater, we have Jonah and the Whale Watchers, and Samba Legal's going to come over there, and so it's just going to be a drum and jamming time.
They share some members, I think, right? Do they? I think that's what I noticed last time I was.
Well, you know what? Last time Jonah was with us, they were in the Golden State Theater, and it was like a psychedelic, back to the 60s, really wonderful finale. And so we're looking forward to that again. And, you know, probably California Cowboys, some other of our groups will come and jam with them. And just, you know, it's so joyful. You know, the finale, 11:15 to midnight, and both will be indoors. And it's just a time to come together and go into the new year with fun, art, and hope.
Yeah.
And I think that's what this community celebration does. It not only brings us all together, but there's so much hope when people go around and make their resolutions at the different activities that we have. And if they're with family, it's really wonderful to see those family resolutions. And then people do community resolutions. And that's really fun and interesting. So our theme this year is Color Me Monterey.
Yeah.
And
How
so,
did that come about?
Well, you know, every year we work with CSUMB, graphic designs, community communications students, and we talk about different themes. We really wanted something with the name Monterey because we were so excited to be back at the conference center, our renewed collaboration and partnership with the city, and so we'd done Celebrate Monterey a couple years ago, and that was really fun. And so, you know, it was like, I said one day, lights, action, color. And they're all like, color me. And I'm like, okay, yeah.
That's amazing.
So,
very clever.
Yeah. So it's really the kids, the students who come up with that. And the winning design, you know, the class gets together and they all do designs on the buttons, the posters, the back of the button, bus ads. And they really come, and the bus and the button cards, they come away with a complete portfolio. And then this year I'm wearing the button, and then I'm sure it would be up on the screen, the image, but it's just beautiful. And what she did is she digitized the Portola Plaza. So it is the place, you know, that we all come together.
That's so phenomenal. And then so if people can get their bearings, the conference center is really a lot of the heart of it. It's so big, there's so many places. But then the whole celebration, it starts at 3 still?
Yes, it starts at 3, and we start at Colton Lawn, because on Colton Lawn, and we close Pacific Street between Madison and Jefferson, we have the taiko drummers that drum, and it's so fun. We do it every year because those drums call us. There's a calling to it. We have a blessing that's done by the Aztec dance troupe, and then they invite the little ones to dance with them, because it's always interactive. That's community with us. And then it's Make a Crazy Celebration hat. We just throw stuff out and they put it together, and it's really fun. And my museum has the wheelie out. We'll be over at the Museum of Art, where we'll do some crown making for the kids in the basement. Monterey Bay Barbershop, the Monterey Bay Bells will be doing barbershop in the gallery. And then over at the City Council Chambers, we'll start with Heartstrings. And Paulette is a member of that wonderful Celtic folk group.
It's so fun.
So we love being in the City Council Chambers. It's not a large hall, but it's the presence of being where government for our city is completed, done. And
they also have a historic art collection. And so everywhere you look, you're so aware that here we all are in such a positive environment. It's the most joyful place to play, honestly. But because you're simultaneously imbued with this idea that here we are, and it's so great to be among friends and family, and then here we are within the context of all these great things that have happened over like 150 years.
Yes.
So that is also a really amazing thing. So the building itself, really
and the artwork within it.
So great.
And then people love it because they're not going there to petition, to complain, or just say you're doing a good job. I don't know if they hear that enough, but it's just going to sit and to be part of this wonderful community. So, we have that going on. And then the evening we extend up in that space. So you've got the City Council Chambers having folk trios, and then the Ms. Auditorium having the samba group.
That's
and another
great space too.
Yes, so people can be up top, on Pierce, let's say, and be at City Council, go to Ms. Auditorium, walk down to Franklin and the Church of the Religious Science. We have E. Cantori playing first evening, and then followed by Along Came Betty. We always have jazz there. That sanctuary kind of lends itself, so that'll be really fun. And Along Came Betty hasn't been with us for about 4 years, so that's so awesome. Fun
That'd be great.
to have them. So, people can walk up there and do that. And then, of course, we close Alvarado Street in the afternoon, and we begin with our procession at 5:30. It's a community procession. We invite everybody to be part of, come on, we've got light ups. Just join us. We've got extra puppets, and it's really fun to yell Happy New Year.
All down the street.
All the way down the street. And then we begin our evening programming. So Wells Fargo stage, Rabo Bank stage, and then we have the Galleria where we have the Greek dancers will be performing, and then DeFranco Group, which is a wonderful youth group from Pacific Grove, will be dancing hip hop and all kinds of different music, and then we close that out with the Monterey Bay Lion dance team. So we have such great cultural diversity. And it's such an honor to showcase that. We have flamingo dancers in the up in the conference center, and so we have a lot of different groups that will be showcasing the different cultures around.
One thing I love is that the way that it's always a mix of groups that have been there forever, like the Greek Village Dancers, and in that first year, there was a flamenco dancer that was on the cover of the newspaper, and everybody thought that first night was about flamenco.
Yeah.
And then they were upset because they couldn't get in. There were too many people who wanted to get there at the same time.
Yeah.
But now there's such a beautiful mix of people who were there from that beginning time, but then people who are brand new, and then people who are, like you said, they're there, they come back. Can you tell people a little bit about your process these days? How you get that call to artists out there, and how you make your selection process? How do you do all that mixy-matchy stuff with the program and the venues? So there's a lot.
Yeah, it's a puzzle, and right now we have 30 groups. A couple of them are individuals, but we put a call for artists out in June, and then we do an email blast to like the last 6, 7 years, 10 years of artists, inviting them back, and then we see what we get. And then a committee comes together, starts listening and looking, and then says yes, yes, yes. Maybe they'll say no, or they'll say yes, and then start putting things together. Then we look at what genres, because we want to go all the way across.
Diversity. Yeah.
Yes, so we want jazz, we want hip hop, we want rock, we want reggae, world music. Something for everyone, because what the unique thing is, Paulette, about first night is that on one night, in so many hours, we are 9 hours. Most people come for 2 to 4 hours, but that they can go and sit in city council and hear folk. Then they may be able to go over to a country, or a perennial favorite is the Black Irish Band. Go and listen to them. So, but at Golden State Theater, and at the church, so it's different venues, which gives you a unique, different feeling, and then the different genres. So after the committee does their yeses, then we start putting them together like bands, because when we really come down to it, then on the technical side, we have to have similar technical needs, at the stages, because you can't have an 8-piece and then a 2-piece. That doesn't make sense if you're going to, have that much sound. Yeah. So then we start doing that, and then it filters down, and then I go and I look at the cost, and I tell the artist, I'm just, the person with the cost. I go in at the end. So, there's some artists that don't make it this year. They might make it next year, they made it last year. Some, but I'm really excited about an artist, Keith Greninger. I don't know if you remember him.
I do remember
I think
him very
he played the first 2, and then that was it. And then he started touring all around. Yeah. He's a fabulous artist. His music is wonderful. His songs, what he writes is so great. Right. And so I heard that he was back, so I reached out to him, and he's going to be at the Golden State Theater. People will want to see him, his music, his voice. Yeah. I could say that about all of our artists, their voice and that. So, they're all professional artists. And one of the things we're so proud about is that we do contribute to the creative economy, that we are hiring these artists, these carpenters, these engineers, these sounds. And so it's a big production, and it's a big puzzle, and we try to make it happen in a smooth way, and one that people can really, really enjoy.
So can you talk a little bit about your team? So you have just a super small staff even throughout the year, right? Yeah. And then, but there's all kinds of people who engage with you at different times, and then do you still have hundreds of volunteers?
And we have our call for volunteers out right now. We have a new volunteer coordinator, Diane Dames, she's at the office right now calling people. And, first night gives people an opportunity who might be alone, or who likes to go out and support community events, to come and work 4 hours, be part of something really great. And then we have a great hospitality venue, and people can be part of. And it's so wonderful to see the friendships that develop, and it's like, oh, well, come and eat with me, and let's go watch this after our shift. And that's what I think is really fulfilling also, is to see the volunteers and how happy and supportive that they are, and what a good time they have.
So we talked about the programming and the venues and all these good things. So can you talk a little bit about the media support? It seems like even from the beginning, First Night has just been a magnet for media because of the splash, because of the community, because of the I think the diversity, even in the old days, of so many different people involved. The media wanted to be there. So when people, now there's so much more you can do. So let's say you have somebody who is new to the area, or they haven't been, or they just started to think about it for their family. What do you find is the best way for them to access what's happening, and where do they get their button, or how do I volunteer?
Oh, well, you know, the best place to go is our website, which is firstnightmonterey.org.
It's very comprehensive, right? So,
yes.
firstnightmonterey.org.
.org, yeah. You can see, you can go online and fill out an application to be a volunteer. Right now, the celebration pages are broken up into country, rock, pop, spoken word, hip hop, dance, and so they can see what's going on. The times aren't set; they'll be set for most of the performances by Friday. But that's a volunteer who maintains that website. Yeah. And then we've already built pages for our Facebook to start blasting out that have the artist. Yeah. And one of the things is that on our website you'll be able to click through to the artist either website or Facebook and listen.
Brilliant.
So amazing. You know, and then we have an app. So it's an event-based app, and we have it every year. And I think you have to have cellular to go on it the night of, but you can plan your night and have it in your phone or whatever kind of tablet or whatever you choose.
So that's actually a good thing to talk about, because sometimes some people look at things and say, oh, all these choices, this is so amazing. And some people look at, oh, all these choices, I can't, you know, I can't. Oh. So what do you think of as a guidepost for people? They have the schedule in front of them, or they have something in front of them, but where do they start? What do you recommend these days?
Well, I think the best place to start is after you looked at the website, but then the Monterey County Weekly publishes the program guide. It goes out, I believe it's Thursday the 27th. Okay. So getting that and then penciling in and circling what you want to do, I think is really important. On our website, we have a kids' night out, so you can start planning for if you have little ones. And then we'll have a in at 3, out by 8 for people who want to go before.
Oh,
so we'll have
recommended.
Yes, recommended what you can do. That's not up on our site yet, but it'll be up by next week.
Awesome.
And then the finales and how you do it. But the website and our web mistress is just fabulous and builds it so it's really friendly. She builds the event app page also. But I think getting that program from the weekly. And then, you know, we do, most of First Night is indoors, and you want to get your buttons. I'm wearing the button staff. But that's... it's online right now for sale, and then one of our volunteers got most of the local 7-Elevens that are and then all the Monterey County Safeway are selling our buttons.
Wonderful, that's so
Rabobank
good.
and Monterey and PG, and then Grove Market in PG.
Wow.
And so all of those retailers really make it happen. And there's a survey, the buttons come on a card, and so we hope that people will bring those surveys and let us know, you know, what they felt about the program, what they liked, what they think that maybe we should work on, or what they would like for next year. Because we look at those, we take it very, very seriously. But buying your buttons directly supports the artist. So we do have free things out in the streets, and that's really important, part of our mission. But being able to pay for those artists is done completely by the revenue that we bring in from the purchase of the buttons.
Thank you so much, Ellen. Thank you for your amazing leadership. As one of the founders of First Night, I can't be any more the most grateful person in the universe for your keeping it, not just keeping it together and keeping it going, but to keep it growing in impact and in all the other wonderful ways, like you bringing in the students at CSUMB in so many different ways. You've really just made the whole thing come even more alive than ever. So thank you.
Thank you. Happy New Year. See
Happy
you at first night.
That's it.
Color
That's
Me
it.
Monterey.
Oh, thank you so much.